Hi, Jason. What are people going to take away from the film after they watch it?
I think they're going to come away with a lot of respect for Joel as a filmmaker, continued respect for him as an actor, and some respect for him as a writer, too. I mean, he's written great films before, but I don't think a lot of people know that.
What would you like people to get out of when they finish watching The Gift?
I want people to have a nice sort of, I guess, you know, look, I want people to have a good entertaining time in the movie, but also I think it's kind of good if people come away ruminating about something when they watch a movie. And this movie, for me, is about, you know, the way we can be cruel or kind to each other, not just in school and the way we evolve as adults, you know, whether we're able to change, but how we can be cruel inside of a relationship and the way those roles just keep repeating themselves through life. So, you know, many things in this film that I think are worth kind of thinking about.
Again, we meet Insidious, now The Gift.
I mean, it's very exciting. I mean, we can't get enough of each other.
2 hits back to back, man. How do you do it?
Well, if this isn't a hit yet, I mean, I hope it's a hit, but it's not a hit yet. Knock on wood. Don't say that. You might jinx it.
Have you seen the reviews? They're awesome. They're like 120% on Rotten Tomatoes.
We're 100. I tweeted that the other day. We're 100%. I'm hoping it stays close to that. But yeah, the reviews are great. I'm excited about the movie.
Nothing but positive reviews. Awesome. Have you ever, like, thought about in high school maybe somebody that you knew coming back and giving you a gift, or someone maybe you picked on that will come back and kind of have a grudge on you, and you kind of have to look over your shoulder and see if you bump into this person again?
I think of it all the time, but I was actually picked on in high school. I didn't do the picking. I was one of the losers when I was a freshman. I was the loser when I was a sophomore, and the biggest bully was a guy named Eugene Grace. He lives in Philadelphia. I haven't seen him since, but I hope he sees this movie and feels guilty about how badly he treated me when I was in high school.
Eugene, success is the best revenge.
Success is the best revenge, Eugene. Where are you now, Eugene?
Poor guy.
I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
So let's talk about the future. What do you have next?
We have Sinister 2, and then we have M. Night Shyamalan's The Gift. I mean, M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit, rather, which is in September. We have Eli Roth's movie called Green Inferno, and Gem and the Holograms of Paranormal Activity 5.
That's like awesome overload. So tell us a little bit about your character here in The Gift.
Well, I play a character called Robin, who's married to Jason Bateman's character. They've been married for a little while. They're moving cities and they're trying to establish in a new city. They have a past that's complicated, and then they have a future which gets even more complicated.
From all the reviews, this is a psychological thriller of the summer. What did you think when you read the script? Did you know this was going to be something special?
I did, because it reminded me of Hitchcock film. It reminded me of those 3-point Hitchcock films that often involve 3 characters, revolve around character, and are smart. And I think that people want that. I don't think that, you know, people necessarily just want pure horror for horror's sake.
Tell us a little bit about playing in the movie. When you read the script, what was your reaction?
You know, it was a really great script in a classic sort of Hitchcock sort of way. It was sparse and tense, and I knew right away from reading it that it was going to be really good. Then when I met Joel as a director and as a writer, the way he talked to me about my role and about the story in general, you know, he's extremely intelligent, deep, soulful sort of guy, which you can see in his acting work, or most people in the public know from his acting work. But you're going to hear a lot about him as a writer-director as time goes on. It was a type of script and story, and Joel was the type of guy where you knew that it wasn't only going to be a good movie experience. Like, sometimes you have a good movie experience, but it was also going to be a film that was talking about something that's happening in society, you know, something that needs to be talked about. And so I got all of that when I was reading it, you know what I mean? I got that it could be not just a good film, but an interesting film, and something that provokes conversation afterwards when you go out for dinner or a drink after the movie.
Saunder, Jurriaans, and Danny Bensi.
And I understand you guys are the composers for the film?
Yes.
Now, you guys are like the unsung heroes because you set the mood for what type of movie it is, what type of scene you're going to get. Tell us a little bit about composing the music for The Gift. Start with you.
Yeah, well, it's a process. You get the movie when it's almost like 90% done, and you have to decide, okay, like, where do we make things dramatic? Where do we lead the audience into what's going to happen? Do you give it away? Do you not get it? We need to set it like a whole character for what kind of sounds we're going to get. So we start experimenting, and you start things on the piano, or you start playing some instruments, or hitting weird things until something starts coming up. It takes a week or two, to get something together.
Yeah, sometimes shorter, sometimes longer, but getting that first initial palette is a really important part, the initial process. And then the back and forth with the director and stuff, and then finally get that, and then we're on a roll from there.
Now, I understand the film is like a bit of a horror, but more of a psychological thriller. If you could pick a score from a horror film or a thriller from the past, do you guys have a favorite?
Rosemary's Baby.
Gosh, I don't know. Oh, you know what? Sleeping with the Enemy. Julia Roberts from the 80s or early 90s. Great movie.
In 2006, a Nebraska man killed his former teacher for failing him after cheating on a test 18 years earlier. In 2009, a nurse was accused of administering a fatal dose of a painkiller to a patient. The nurse believed the patient had stolen her high school boyfriend 20 years before. In 2013, a 68-year-old man drove to the home of a former classmate who had bullied him 50 years earlier and shot him dead. Can bygones ever really be bygones?
Excuse me. We went to school together.
Sorry, I can't place you.
Gordon Mosley. Gordo.
Gordo? Honey, Gordo and I went to school together. That was a very long time ago.
I believe the bad things from the past, they can be a gift.
That guy's odd.
I think he wants to hurt us for something that happened back then. What did you do to him?
It's over. You're done with the past. But the past is not done with you.